to another monthly favorites video. The last one went over really well, so you guys said you wanted another one, so I'm doing another one. And before anybody asks, no, I didn't chop my hair again, it's just in a ponytail. Relax. Just I could not get it to behave today. So, although it would be really cute to get it back to this length, but I don't know. I'm on the fence. I might just chop it to that length, get it all the same length again, and then grow it out, but I'm on the fence. Maybe I'll just leave it. I don't know. Anyway, so this is admittedly a shorter list than last month's, but that is okay. Who knows, maybe next month's will be like super long. I have no idea. We shall see, but I did still come up with a good handful of things that I've been really loving this month. And for those who didn't watch last month's favorites video, this is not all beauty related stuff. It's not even all like new releases. Most of them are not. I actually don't think any of them are new releases, but they're just things that I have been particularly loving this month and felt like sharing with you guys. So we will get right into it. So first off, I'll start off with the lip balm stuff, so the people who are only here for those, I'll get it out of the way early for you. But first one's first. Chapstick in Candy Cane. Yes, I reviewed this one this month, and this one is so freaking good. Like, oh my gosh. It's like sweet mint in a tube, basically, with the tingliness and all, and thankfully more accessible than that one half the time, and more affordable. The only downside is it's a seasonal one, so they don't sell it year-round, but the plus side is I can, once it gets closer to Christmas time, I can get like a 3-pack or something of this for about the price I would pay for one EOS Sweet Mint. So definitely going to be buying more of these when I'm able to. For now, I'm very much enjoying this one, and I see it being a long-term favorite. And I dropped it, because I'm me. And it seems to be impossible for me to not drop things. Next one is new to me. I don't know that it's a new release, but it's new to me as of this month. One of my friends sent me this, and it's actually from Family Dollar. It's Family Wellness's Cocoa Butter Lip Balm in dark chocolate peppermint. And it's liquid lip balm, which in and of itself is kind of cool, because usually if it's liquid it's gloss, but no, this one is liquid lip balm, which is really cool, and oh my gosh, it smells so heavenly. Guys, if you can track this down, it is amazing. So amazing, I cannot put it into words. You need it. Like, this is not an optional. You need it. Just thank me later. And then this one, definitely not a new release, not even new to me, just I'm happy to have it in my arsenal again. It is EOS Vanilla Mint. This one was actually the very first EOS I had ever bought, and it stayed good for like the longest time, and I had continued using it for like 3 or 4 years, until it finally decided to actually expire, and it expired hard. So I finally got a new one, but it took forever to frickin' find anywhere with it. Like, I swear, normally, this is the one I see everywhere. Literally everywhere. The second I needed to buy it, oh, suddenly it's nowhere to be found, not even online. And I eventually did end up getting it from Target when I did that Target haul, but oh my gosh. Ever since I opened it, like a week or 2 ago, let's just say I have been putting a nice little dent in it already. That's only from a week or 2 of use, just saying. I probably should have bought more than one, so I could race through this one ASAP and still have another one to fall back on. Oh well, when it runs out, I'll get another one. Hopefully. Hopefully it won't be as hard to find again this time, but yeah, actually I'm almost like in a competition with myself just to see how humanly quickly I can use one of these up, since it seems like with EOS, they always freaking go bad before I can get it all the way to the bottom. I have never managed to get one all the way to the bottom without it expiring. So now I'm on a mission. A mission from God. No, Blues Brothers, sorry. But anyway, yeah, I kind of just want to see how long it would take. I know that my sister can do it in about a month, so I'm figuring probably going to be similar, because I've been using this literally every single day, multiple times a day, just because I can, ever since I opened it. So that's a thing. But yeah, so at least I know this one's not going anywhere from my favorites, because this one always was one of my all-time favorite EOS lip balms, and I don't see that changing. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to say that I have at least once in my life used one all the way down to the bottom without it expiring on me. So I just want to see it happen. So that's a thing. The other lip balm that's in this favorites video is another chapstick, and it's one that I actually just reviewed a few days ago, but I have been very much loving. There's already a visible, like, divot down the tube of how much I've used of it already. This is the Chapstick Total Hydration in Rose Petal, and it's one of the tinted ones. Yeah, it's the nice dark pink one. This feels so nice, and it just shocks me that it feels so much like lipstick, even though it's just chapstick. It blows my mind, and it's so pigmented. I'm like, I was not expecting this to be that great. I honestly thought this was gonna be like baby lips and be like, well, it's fun for like 5 minutes and that's that. No, this is actually really freaking good. Now I'm super stoked to try out the other two, so you never know. One of those two might make it into next month's favorites video. We'll see. So there's that. Now, the next item in here, pretty much anyone who's been following my social media anywhere, or even knows me in person, knows I have literally not shut up about this ever since I tried it a week or two ago first time. It is the Celestial Seasonings Tea in Watermelon Lime Zinger. This is a game changer where tea is involved as far as I am concerned. Holy crap. I have no words. Again, if you want my full thoughts on it, go watch the review I did on it, like, probably about a week ago. So it's not that far back in my videos if you want to see it, but oh my god, it's so freaking good. Like, I have been drinking it every single day, sometimes more than once a day, since I opened this. I think I'm going to go through this entire box in record time. I don't think I've ever gone through one quite as quickly as I'm going through this one. That's saying something. It's also saying something that it's summer, and I have still been drinking hot tea. I know they have instructions for iced tea on this, and yet I've still not actually tried it as iced tea, and at the rate I'm going, I'm not sure that it'll stick around long enough for me to do that before I get through this entire box. We'll see. We'll see. That, and I need something big enough to make iced tea, since it takes 4 bags. So that's a lot of water going into that, which means I need a large vessel to put it in. Yeah, and then I need the fridge space to put that vessel in, so it's tricky. So I'm just saying, has to be a day. Maybe I'll do it on the 4th of July when it can just have ice in it and be out, and whoever's over can have some, you know. Could be fun. I might do just that. So that's a thing. Then we move on to the media portion of this, and almost, actually, except for like one other thing, I think everything else in this favorites video falls under the topic of media. So, first things first, those who know me know that this month is Sgt. Pepper month. Not just Sgt. Pepper month, but this year specifically, it's the 50th anniversary. So, excuse how banged up the box is on this, but, of course, Sgt. Pepper had to make it into my favorites for this month. Yes, I need to buy, like, the re-release of the album. I haven't done that yet, mostly because I haven't decided which version to buy. I might start out with the 2-disc version for now, because it's more affordable, and then upgrade to the uber expensive one later when I actually have the cash for it, because I literally cannot afford the expensive one right now. I just can't. If I could, I'd have it in my hands right now. I literally don't have that cash right now. So, the 2-disc one is like $40, which is still ouch for a 2-disc set, but it's Sgt. Pepper, so it's totally worth it, right? So anyway, yeah, this was actually the first Beatle album I think I ever had. Not on CD, mind you. I mean at all. As a 7-year-old little kid, and even before that, I was listening to it in my dad's car, and on his record player and stuff. Yeah, totally dating myself, I know. But, this is always going to be one of my favorite Beatle albums ever. I have a hard time labeling one Beatle album as the #1 favorite, since it's kind of like a tie between Sgt. Pepper, Abbey Road, and Rubber Soul for me personally, but this is always going to hold a special place in my heart because of how far back it goes for me, since this is literally the soundtrack of my childhood, as far as I'm concerned. There were years where this was the only album I would listen to repeatedly, over and over and over again. I never burnt out on it. To this day, I have never burnt out on this album. How many of you guys can say that about any one specific album that you listen to that hardcore? There's not too many, I'm just saying. So, that made it in for this month. Then there was a surprise contender, actually two for that matter, that kind of went hand in hand with one another. Wasn't really expecting this one to make it back in. Actually, I never even really considered it one of the favorites. But this month, I don't know, I have been listening to this like crazy, and it's the Who's Who Are You album. Now, in my earlier days as a Who fan, I gravitated more towards their early stuff, but thinking about the age I was at that point, I was still a teenager. It made sense that the songs they wrote when they literally were teenagers, and about the feelings of teenagers would, oh yeah, really resonate with me as a teenager. Then I went through a phase where I kind of felt like maybe I had outgrown the Who because I felt like it no longer resonated with me, and it just almost felt foreign to me. I still enjoyed listening to it, but it didn't have that same connection that it always had, and I almost felt silly listening to it, so I kind of just put them on a back burner for a long time. And out of nowhere, I don't know, I felt like listening to the Who Are You album. And it resonated with me in the way that the early stuff used to. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I really thought about it, and it got weird when I realized that this year, I'm officially older than Keith Moon ever made it to be. Because he died about a month after his 32nd birthday. I turned 32 back in January, so just saying. But this puts me about on par with the ages they were when this was written, so it would make sense that it would be a similar sort of emotional place that's now resonating with me that did not used to. Because this was one album that, as a teenager when I'd listen to it, there was a few songs I'd listen to from it, and the rest, I mean, I listened to them a few times, so I kind of disregarded and, like, skipped past. Like, Guitar and Pen always resonated with me. It still feels like it could be a soundtrack of my life type song. Always loved Sister Disco, 905, New Song, and Had Enough. Those were, like, the ones. And obviously, Who Are You? The rest kind of just swept under the rug. Now all of it resonates. And I'm like, whoa, when did that happen? Holy shit. And the Who by Numbers album, even though it didn't make it into this month's favorites list, I have a feeling it might make it into next month, because all of a sudden, like, the last day or two, I've latched back onto that one again. Even though it resonated with me as a teenager, it feels like even more so now. So it's strange how just your connection to some of your favorite music can change over time in the way that you connect with it, or disconnect with it, like, in the case of the earlier Who albums. Like, obviously there's still songs I enjoy from their earlier years, like, the My Generation album is a perfect example of this, because there's songs like the title song and The Kids Are Alright that I will probably adore till the day I die. But a lot of the other stuff on there, I don't connect with it anymore, and it feels so weird, because I remember a point in time where it felt like they understand me, they get me, they are writing about me practically years before I was even born, they get it. And now I'm like, yeah, I remember being in that place, but it doesn't really feel like it applies anymore. I mean, I won't turn my nose up at it, but it's not something I'll generally go out of my way most of the time to specifically go listen to, unless, like, somebody has just reminded me of it and gets it in my head and I'll go listen to it, but it's just weird. And I used to kind of skip past the older albums, and now I'm finding myself listening to those. I mean, older as in they were older, not, like, chronologically they're the earliest ones. So, I mean, there's that. It's so weird. I guess there's some that are, like, middle of the road chronologically that just always will probably stick. Like, Quadrophenia is always going to speak to me, probably as a mentally ill individual. That's always going to speak to me. Tommy, I didn't really connect on a point of, like, living it, with the exception of the sexual abuse part of it. But other than that, it more appealed to me on, like, a spiritual level, weirdly enough. So that one's always going to apply. But then, like, the other middle of the road stuff, like, the Who's next album, it kind of just, I always enjoyed it. Didn't necessarily connect with it, but I always enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. Don't necessarily connect with it now either, but it's just odd. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah. So that's a thing, but yeah, I've been listening to this basically ever since all the hoopla died down about Sgt. Pepper. I don't know, something reminded me of this album. I just went and listened to it one day, and it's kind of been on perpetual repeat ever since. So that's a thing. And you will notice the difference between an album that had been played to death, has much wear and tear on it, on the back too, for that matter, versus one that kind of, I owned it, but it's basically still flawless because I never toted it around with me anywhere. It just stayed at home on the shelf with my other CDs. Yeah, just, you know, you could probably actually go through my CD collection if I laid them all out. And just by looking at the boxes, could probably put them in order of most loved and played to least, just from that. Because some of them, oh my gosh, like perfect example, Paul McCartney's Venus and Mars album, that box, like, all that is left of the front cover is like a sliver on this corner right here of the front cover. The rest is just gone. It does not exist. I have to be super careful with that one. I keep meaning to rebox that one into a different jewel case, but yeah, that just... Actually, I generally don't even keep the CD in that box. I own it just because it has the booklet with it and the track list on the back, but I generally keep that disc in a CD wallet because I so worry about it just not having that protective layer in the front. Yeah. I have a lot of them in similar condition, but that one is by far the #1 worst condition of any CD case I own, and I'm on the fence between do I just buy another one or do I just rebox that one, because the CD itself is fine, but the box has seen better days. Anyway, I've been off on a tangent here. The other album that went hand in hand with this one that I was mentioning is not a Who album per se. It's actually a solo one. It is Pete Townshend's Empty Glass album. Yes, I have the vinyl one because, weirdly enough, I've never owned this on CD. I'm not sure why I've never owned it on CD, but I've never owned it on CD. I've always just had my vinyl copy. Actually, I used to have 2 vinyl copies, but one got stolen. Thankfully, one made it up to this house with me when we were moving. I never got around to the other one, since they were in different cases. Some made it up, some didn't. The ones that didn't got stolen, so that's my bad, but let's see. Is this the better quality copy one? I think this luckily is. Yeah, okay. I say this as somebody who's been listening to it all month. Obviously it doesn't skip or anything, but neither did the other one. I just didn't remember, is this one that's like more scuffed up but still plays, or the one that looked flawless? Yeah, weirdly, it was like I probably should have swapped this disc into the other one's sleeve, because the other one had a sleeve in better condition, but the vinyl was better, which I think is why I brought this one up and not the other one, but I digress. This, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, came out not too far timeline-wise from when this did. I think this came out like a year or 2 later. I think this was 1980. Anybody want to help? Anybody who's a fan? Know for sure. I don't know. But yeah, so this one, I don't know, it's also resonated with me big time lately. Although this one I did go through a phase at around 15, 16 where it spoke to me, but now it does on very different levels, and it's so fucking weird. Yeah, since I did have the track listing on, well, I guess it's technically on the back, it's just way down in the frickin' bottom and teeny tiny print you probably can't read. Yeah, if you want to read them, that's what's on this one. Yeah, it's a weird way of doing the track listing, but whatever. Certain songs on here that used to just not really, I got them, but I didn't get them, you know? Like, obviously, I understood the words in the song, but I didn't understand, like, the deeper meanings in them. I feel like I get them now. It's just really weird, and I guess it's one of those things that it comes with maturity, and there's no convincing you of this when you actively are a teenager trying to listen to the album, and you feel like you get it at the time, and you swear up and down that, yeah, no, I already get it. No, there's certain things that only age and just experiencing life will bring that type of deeper understanding to certain lyrics. Especially when it comes to this guy. Just saying. More hilariously, though, It also sparked me off looking up some of the songs on YouTube to link people to. I had no idea there was a music video for Rough Boys. I about peed my pants. This is like... For so many years, I tried to argue that song. No, he's not saying he's gay. It's not a gay pride song. No, it's not. Oh my god. After seeing that, I take it back. I take back everything I ever said. I take it all back. It is absolutely a homoerotic song. Alright? I'm just, for the record, I finally see it, guys. Alright? Just, yeah, shut up teenage me at what I used to say about it and trying to defend him. It's like, yeah, you know what? I was wrong. You're right. You were all right. Okay, so, beyond that, there is a book I've been trying to get my hands on since I was about 11 or 12 years old. And every time I tried to order it from a catalog, it was always sold out. And then I would try to buy it on Amazon, and it would be sold out. I would try and find it in a bookstore, and nowhere would carry it. This would be The Beatles: A Hard Day's Right. Guess who finally frickin' owns it? Not just owns it, but owns an updated copy of it. Because the cover actually used to be very different. It was like a cover from around the era of A Hard Day's Night. 2 of them on this side, 2 of them on this side, looking like you're looking down a hallway or something. Almost looking like a little badass gang of Beatles. But, yeah, that was the old school cover from the 90s. This is an updated one from, I think it was like 2009. So, not complaining with that. But I had no idea that this thing has shit tons of pictures all throughout it, too. I'm not gonna bore you all to tears by going through it picture by picture like I've done with certain ones, because it's literally like every page. But basically, the gist of this book, it has the story behind every Beatles song that exists. Now, granted, I already know most of these. I even know more in depth than the book goes into on some of them. But there are some things in here that were legit new even to me. So this, I don't know, it just really, it makes me happy on one level that just the victory of finally owning this. Not just owning it, but an almost mint copy, and not only just a mint copy, I found it on frickin' Mercari for like $4. It's like $3 or $4, free shipping. Boom! Just saying. Anyway. Yeah, that's a thing. But appreciating it for that. But also just the fact that it has stuff in it that I actually did not know. Because, again, for how far back my Beatles obsession goes, and for how deep it runs, you have to kind of work hard at it to find Beatles stuff I don't already know. So anytime somebody runs across something I legit didn't know, it blows my freaking mind, because I guess I get very egomaniacal in this and feeling like I know all the things, I've seen all the things, I've watched all the things, I've listened to all the things, what else is there? And then somebody goes and proves me wrong that there is still stuff out there that even I don't know, and it makes my life when I run into these moments. So that is a thing. Very happy to have this. I'm still reading through it. I haven't finished it yet, but very, very happy to have this. We're almost done, guys. This one, I'm gonna get so much shit for this being in here because it's widely regarded as such a horrible movie, but I don't care. This is totally one of those guilty pleasure movies for me, and given who it stars, it should surprise no one that I adore it. And this is not new to me. This was actually one of the first Liza things I ever had. I just kind of rediscovered how much I love it recently, because I'd kind of forgotten about its existence until somebody needed me to make a copy of it for them. And I rewatched it, and I rewatched it again, and I rewatched it again. And then I needed a screen cap from it, and getting that screen cap, I ended up rewatching it again twice that day, and a few more times. Yeah, I have not updated my, my yearly Facebook movie challenge folder with every time I've done it, because most of the things I watched this month have been this movie right here over and over and over again. Oh my god, it's Rent-A-Cop, alright? It's fucking Rent-A-Cop. I'm hanging my head in shame. It is, I don't care how cheesy and 80s-tastic it is. It's one of my favorite Liza movies. Leave me the fuck alone, okay? It's kind of like with Dudley Moore. I get so much crap for one of my favorite movies of his is Lovesick. And that's, like, everybody's like, but Lovesick sucked. And I'm like, dude, I will fight you. That is, like, my second favorite one. Behind, like, both Arthur movies tied for the first place. But behind those, Lovesick is my fucking favorite thing he ever did, so don't even start with me. With Liza, this is kinda right up there. It's not number 2, but for a while it was. I mean, obviously, Arthur's right towards the top, since it's like my favorite movie of all time, but that's more of a Dudley movie, so I lump that in mentally as being Dudley more than Liza, even though she's the co-star of that. But, like, Cabaret, obviously, it's like a no-brainer that's gonna be up there. Stepping Out is more of a wild card, since everybody tends to forget it existed. And then this. Yeah. I get shit from people because they're like, why wouldn't it be The Sterile Cuckoo or New York, New York? I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care much for New York, New York. I like the musical scenes in it. I hate that Robert De Niro just spends the whole film screaming at Liza and basically verbally abusing her the whole film, and it feels like too close to what she went through in her real life for me to be able to fully enjoy that. I've been thinking about rewatching it lately to see if my feelings have changed on it, because I have not watched it in a few years, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm that person who did not care that much for it. And The Sterile Cuckoo is more of a personal thing with it, in that I was going through pretty similar to what happened in the film in real life at the time when I first got that film. So that one, it always has this emotional sting to me anytime I try to watch it, since it rips open all of those wounds all over again, rips my heart out, throws it on the floor, stomps all over it, and spits on it. And that's about how I feel by the time I've finished that film, every damn time I've watched it. So, I mean, you know, hard to count that as a favorite when I feel that strongly every time I watch it. I'll admit that she was an amazing actress in it. I will admit she was fucking adorable in it. But just because of my own real life shit that happened around the same time that I cannot dissociate from it, it makes that one a hard one for me. So I'm the weirdo that fucking loves Rent-A-Cop. So I mean, there's some really obscure shit of hers that I count amongst my favorites, so just saying. But I had not watched Rent-A-Cop in a few years, and at this point, I feel like I've gotten film snobbish enough to where now I look at Burt Reynolds in this, I'm like, oh my god, this is probably some of the worst acting he did in his entire fucking career, and this is speaking as somebody who loves Burt Reynolds, but oh my god, please, Burt. Like, try to put some sort of emotion other than annoyance into this role, please. But Liza's just hilarious and adorable through the whole damn thing, and she's the whole reason that I watch it. So, there's that. I almost bought a pair of boots that she wore in this film for $200 from somebody once. Didn't end up doing it. They ended up, like, not talking to me before I actually had saved up the money to buy them off of them, so that did not happen, but yeah. They were, like, this close to being in my grasp, to the point where I had already started speaking as though I had gotten them. And then it fell through at the last second. I was like, no. No. I am still, to this day, trying to reach back out to that person, trying to get them, but anyway, that's beside the point. It's 80s cheese-tastic. I'll put it this way. If you enjoy cheesy 80s movies, just in general, ironically or seriously, you'd probably enjoy this. If you don't like them, then, you know, you'd probably hate this. It's a thing. So, 2 things left. This one I don't have anything to show for because it's a digital item, so I can't really show you that, but can we just talk about Season 5 of Orange is the New Black? Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all these people that I felt like I just, like, pushed away with all this media that, like, nobody even gives a crap about. Okay, I just reeled them back in, so oh my goodness. I didn't do my usual rewatching of all the prior seasons leading up to this one. I meant to. Snuck up on me. The release date came, and I was like, fuck it. I'm not rewatching them. I'm diving right into it. I have to know who the fuck Die is gonna shoot at. So, Yeah, spoilers, except I'm not telling you who she shot at, but I'm sure most of you have already watched it by now, so... Just saying. I'm just saying I'm happy that Kimberly finally caught the fuck up and I don't have to be careful on Orange is the New Black spoilers, because oh my god, she never finished season 4 up until this year. Like, when this season came out, she finally decided to finish it. But all year, she's been the biggest pain in the ass. But, oh my god, spoilers! Stop spoiling it for me! And then she barreled through this season like it was nothing. I'm like, thank you, Lord! Thank you! I don't have to walk on eggshells talking about this show. Thank you! Anyway. So, if you've not watched it yet, I'm gonna be... I'll try to be careful not to spoil too much, but the entire season takes place over the course of 3 days. It picks up literally exactly where it left off last season. And I mean that in the most literal possible sense. Like, it goes from 0 to 5,000 the second you hit play on it. And if you have not just rewatched the last season leading into it, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd kind of forgotten it was quite that intense of a moment where it cut off before. So when I went back to it, and I picked up on the first episode of season 5, I actually had to pause it less than 5 minutes in and walk away and calm back down and come back to it, because I literally had a fucking panic attack, it being thrown in at the deep end like that. That's my own bad for not rewatching the prior season, or even just the last episode before jumping into this one. That would have been really smart of me if I had done that. But think of season 4. Season 4 picked up, they're all like having a good time, they're swimming in the lake and shit, they're just having a good time. I had honestly forgotten that it left off at quite a hairy spot. Like it did. That's on me. I mean, I remember there was the whole thing of wanting to know who the fuck Daya's gonna shoot at, but other than that, I had definitely forgotten all the other chaos going on around that one thing. So, that, oh my god. And it's just so intense for the whole fucking season. Even though it's 3 damn days. But, oh my gosh. The way it ends, I'm not gonna spoiler it, but I am gonna say that I am incredibly annoyed that it cuts off where it does and that we have to wait a whole nother fucking year to see what happens. That was like the most bullshit cop-out ending I've ever seen. And that is about all I can say on that without spoilering it. Which makes me really frustrated because there are so many other things I would love to say about this season right now. But I literally can't, because I'd be giving spoilers. Just, it's frustrating. The other thing that was frustrating, the day that the new season dropped, I definitely did not plan ahead for this, because otherwise I never would have scheduled this for the same day. The day I had to go to the dentist was on the same day. I was this close to canceling and rescheduling that appointment for like a week later so I could just stay at home and binge watch the fuck out of the whole season in a day. Because usually, that's about how long it takes me to go through a whole season, is a day. And I've made it all the way through, because I will stay up all night watching the damn thing. I know that's really bad and really unhealthy, but that's me for you. You know that my obsessions know no bounds, so, I mean, I don't think I'm shocking anyone here, but yeah, this time didn't get to do that. I think I made it through about 2 or 3 episodes before I had to leave for that, and then I came home, and I wanted to resume right away, but I remembered I still had to film for the day, so I did that, and then I got sidetracked, and it wasn't until that night that I got back to it. I only made it through, like, 1 episode then. And then the next day, Kimmy wanted to, like, watch through what was left of season 4 that she hadn't watched yet. And I was like, oh my god, I'll watch with you. But we only made it through, like, an episode or 2. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back to season 5. See ya on the flip side. But basically, I actually managed to watch it at slightly more of a normal person pace this time. It took me all of a week to make it through the whole season this time. What a fucking accomplishment, right? I mean, to be fair, for those who don't watch this show at all, every episode is an hour long, so it's not like a 20 to 30 minute sitcom. My ponytail's coming out in it. But anyway, it's not like a half-hour show. These are hour-long episodes, and there's like 13 or 14 episodes per season of this, so that's like 14 hours of watch time every single time. So that's a big chunk of time to throw at it, but that's also why I can blow through it in like a day if I really work at it. But I managed to actually go through it at a slower pace, both so I could prolong the enjoyment of it, but also it's just so intense this season that I literally could not just barrel through it all in one go, even when I had the time the next day where I physically could have. I just mentally couldn't do it all in one go. I just couldn't. So I would watch about 2 or 3 episodes at a time, and it ended up taking about a week, and it was kind of fun doing it that way. And we all know me, I'll probably end up rewatching the season several times before the next season's out next year anyway, but, you know, for now, I feel like I'm good. Especially because I'm so annoyed at that fucking ending that I'm just like, no, it's just gonna re-piss me off every time I watch it, so I think I'm gonna wait a while before I go rewatching things. So, right now I'm mostly in the process of, I need another show to watch now. Except I would prefer it be something that is a completed series, so I don't have these periods of, now I have to wait for the next season. Although I am happy that Younger came back last night, although I still have to watch the episode. But, yeah, and Once Upon a Time is in its summer hiatus. Jane the Virgin is on its summer hiatus. So right now I feel kind of like I'm out in the middle of nowhere waiting for my shows to come back, and while I do, I need something to watch, and I don't know what to watch. At least last year, I had a list of shows I was planning to watch. I worked through those. I don't know where to go from here. I might just rewatch my old favorites again that I own, but yeah, right now I'm like, I'd really kind of like to watch something new, but I don't know what to watch. So I mean, if you feel like leaving me suggestions down below that you think I'll like, feel free to leave them. No horror. No scary horror stuff. Anything else, absolutely on the table. Just no horror. I emotionally can't deal with that. Anything else, that's, you know, leave suggestions. I make no promises that I'll actually watch them, but I will take them into consideration. So, anything. Anything. No, I got a notification on the top of my iPod and was trying to read it and talk at the same time, and that was a bad combination since I ended up saying the word instead of saying what I was meaning to say. So, last item on this. I can't believe that for 12 items I have dragged this out to 40 minutes. I guess I just really felt like talking today. But the last thing on here isn't so much a product per se, as it's one of my hobbies that kind of got put on the back burner for the better part of a year, and I forgot how much I loved until I started doing again. But it is cross-stitching, and those who've been following either my Facebook or my Instagram know about my project that I've been working on. This project I actually started a week after Robin Williams died, and I honestly thought would have been done by now, but given that I only work on it hardcore a few days at a time and then don't touch it for months, you know, this is why I still have not finished the damn thing. But anyway, this is my current progress on my Mork and Mindy cross-stitch. I'm very proud of it. In my grief of when Robin died, I unfortunately did not turn the fabric the correct direction, so I'm gonna run out of room on this side, so I cut off part of the excess on the bottom, and I'm gonna try and graft it together onto the side, so I'll have enough to actually fit Mindy on there. I'm not sure how smoothly that's gonna go, but yeah, it's an incredibly time-consuming, mentally intensive craft. Like, for real, my Liza Minnelli one that I did back, God, like 5 years ago, that took me 3 months to complete, of non-stop, morning till night, moment I woke up in the morning till I would go to bed, working on it to finish it that quickly. So for something where I have not been working on it that religiously, that's why it's been, you know, literally years and I've only gotten that far. But just for those of you who are not that familiar with it, it's made up of thousands and thousands of teeny tiny little X's of color. Like, think of them as pixels. Think of every little X as a pixel, and that is what cross-stitching is. Like, this is how itsy bitsy the teeny tiny little X's are. Now let's back up and appreciate how many of them there are over this entire thing already, and how many more there are to go. Yeah, it's not gonna be done for a while. But basically, my intention when I first started this was I was gonna finish it, frame it, and then ask Zelda Williams if she'd like it, and if she's not interested, then I'll figure something else out. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's still the game plan or not, but regardless, I am still really pleased with how well this is coming out. And if anybody's curious, I also made the pattern for it. So this, I have been basically doing this all by myself from the get-go. I didn't buy this pattern, I made this pattern. So the fact that it's that good, you know, I'm proud of it. So there is that. And I worked on it about 3 days, I want to say, really intensely recently, morning till night, because I actually had a few rare days off where I didn't have to work on any Etsy orders, got my data entry stuff done really early in the day, since generally on weekdays I do that, like, I'll go get my coffee in the morning, I'll take my allergy meds, and I will get work to that straight on in the morning, and generally be done by about noon. And I was actually finishing by about 10 a.m. because I was just barreling through it so damn fast, to where it was like, well, shit, I mean, other than needing to record, I mean, I've got like the whole day to just do whatever the fuck I want. What should I do with that? I know, let's work on that, because I have like not touched it since last August until now. Yeah, I went back through my Facebook folder and looked at when the last time I worked on it was, and it was last August. So almost a full year went by without my even touching it. So I'm trying to see how much I can barrel through before either my Etsy gets busy again and I don't have time for it, or I just burn out from intensely working on it and it sits on the back burner for probably like another year or something. Anyway, for now anyways, I am quite enjoying working on it. And that was actually the craft that really sparked off all my other crafts that I currently do, because I loved the process of that one. I love how intense it is. Like, as much as I complain about how slow it is, I do love it. It's just a matter of not having enough time to devote to it most of the time, which I realize is ironic for somebody who's not even traditionally employed. Even I don't have enough time for it, but it is what it is. But I wanted something that I could complete quicker. I mean, I had no intention of like giving up cross-stitching, I just wanted something with more immediate results, and that was what started me knitting, and then crocheting, and then the beadwork, which ironically, not the perler beads, I mean, those of you who saw the beaded portrait of Liza Minnelli also, yeah, all of my fucking crafts, I seem to have done at least one piece on her, don't ask, I'm a spaz, but yeah, those who saw my peyote stitch beadwork thing on her, that took me the better part of a fucking year to do as well. That just, oh my gosh, it was so insane. And I started a Dudley Moore one at the beginning of the year that I think I made it through about the bottom 5 rows, and it has not been touched since, and I don't think I even know which side of it I'm on, and I might have to just start the fuck over, since I don't have a clue where I left off, and every time I look at it, I almost panic attack, because I just don't know. Yeah, it's a special breed of crazy, I know, but, it is what it is, but, yeah, it started that off, it started the latch hooking off, it started, what else? You know, just all of the weird, random-ass, crafty stuff that I do, all sparked from basically right here. Not with this project. The Liza one was the very first one, which, yeah, see, this is how my brain works. Most people start with, like, beginner's projects. I fucking jump in at the deep end because it drives me insane. I feel like people are talking down to me if I start with beginner's projects, but then the downside is I never get those cutesy beginner projects, because after making something like that, to then backpedal and do something so basic, it feels like really ridiculous, and to where it's like, I can't with a straight face do that after doing this. So, I don't know, it's it's a weird rule that I implemented in my own mind. Every once in a while I'll go against it, but the whole time my brain's going, oh my god, you fucking idiot. This is a beginner project. You are way beyond this. You do not need to be doing this. Even though I never had a point where I was like a true beginner then, because I started with the advanced stuff. I mean, there is like people I know who have cross-stitched for like 40 plus years who have never done something as intensive as one of these. I'm like, yeah, I started with those. I'm not talking down to anybody, I'm not judging anybody on what levels they work at or what type of projects they do. Just for me, I'm like, I don't know why my brain decides that I have to start out with like the more advanced stuff, especially since when it doesn't go well for me, then I just feel defeated and like, well, I obviously suck at that craft and should not do it. And it's like, no, you fucking dipshit. You started out with an experienced project when you're a fucking beginner. This is why it didn't go well for you, you fucking dipshit. Yeah, try convincing my brain of that. Because apparently, as a Capricorn, I just instinctively try to, like, gravitate towards super challenging things that are way beyond my scope of grasp, and a lot of the time, I end up somehow, someway making them work out, but the times that I fail at them, I am really bad at accepting failure. Like, not gonna lie, I do not accept it well emotionally. Like, it's not that I can't handle other people's criticisms. No. I can't handle my own criticisms and reality that I am bad at a thing. And that sounds so fucking egocentric, and I know, and it kinda is, but it's just one of those things where I don't like being bad at things, and the knowledge that I can't do a thing makes me that much more hell-bent at wanting to be able to do that exact thing. That's why even though I fucking suck balls at drawing, I still try and do it, because I'm like, no, there has to be a way. I have to be able to learn to get good at it. Nobody starts out good. There has to be a way that I can get good at it. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get there, but there has to be a fucking way. Yeah. And I felt like this about painting for years, and then, hey, look at that beach scene that I did a few months ago, and I'm like, did I actually finally do the thing? Did I finally do it well? Yeah, I'm ridiculous, I know, but everybody has their own hobbies, and apparently mine are mostly in the crafty type fields, always have been my whole life. How good or not I've been at them has been, you know, anybody's guess, but it doesn't stop me from trying at them, so... I mean, there is people who would tell me that even when I'm working on here, sucks, since my stitches are not always the most even things. Like, if I hold it up really close, I'm sure you could find all sorts of mistakes in where I didn't keep them 100% perfectly even. Most people wouldn't care about that. I judge me for that, and I'm like, dude, look at the bigger picture. Stop zeroing in on that one spot where you went like a quarter of a fraction too far over, or you pulled it a teeny bit too tight and you see a little bit of the background too much behind. I'm a perfectionist, and I have a hard time accepting that perfection does not happen. It is not a thing that exists. You can strive for perfection and you'll never fucking meet it. You can just try and strive for the best you can possibly do, but it will never be perfect. My brain just has the hardest time accepting that it will never be 100% perfect, but regardless, even all that said, I am pretty much mostly pleased with how this is coming out so far, so just both for the craft itself, enjoying it, and just enjoying watching this unfold before my own eyes, and knowing that my own two hands are accomplishing it, I'm very much enjoying that, so I felt that deserved to make it onto this list too. So, anyway, I've been babbling for like an hour, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'd be amazed if anybody's still here after all of my babbling about nothing after all this time. I'm actually surprised that I opened a soda right before I started this. I have not stopped talking to take even one sip this whole time, so I should probably do that. Because my mouth is rather dry now, but I can't imagine why, so... Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If not already, you'd like to click subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. What was your favorite thing that made it into this haul? Let me know down below. Or, not haul. favorites video. This is not a haul by any means. I am stupid. And if you'd like me to continue making these monthly videos, let me know in the comments, because I know a lot of you asked me last time to keep making them, so hopefully, even with all my babbling, you guys are still enjoying these and still want me to do more, because I enjoy making them. So, anyway, that's all I have to say for now. So, till next time, bye!